I hope all autumnal equinox rituals are done. I would like to continue my series of lectures. I've done 230 lectures so far, found in the playlists on my YouTube channel, apart from all the Suno.ai crap music I've created to convey certain stories and old poetry. Does not matter, need not be, as Austin Osman Spare once remarked. And today I would like to focus on mentalese. What is mentalese? It is the language of thoughts before they are symbolized and reified into acquired language. And how can we disband, unravel this language of verbalese, as I call it, of the conditioned grammatical syntax structures, of the semantics, semiotics and all that we have in our minds? Well, first of all, we need to climb to the arena of imagination, imaginarium, and then we create synergic clusters of sound, of color, of energy, of various fields, and so on and so on. We may use the language, but not necessarily. Verbalese is an inferior method of communication with spirits, for example. Mentalese, or the language that is later conveyed into these spiritual realms, is much more sophisticated. Now, some people in the ancient times helped themselves with Barbara Onomata. This was meant to convey certain information upon synthetic fabricated languages or using sacred vowels assigned to planetary spheres in order to communicate in a harmonious manner certain ideas that otherwise wouldn't be conveyed with mere language. So we are soaked in a causative environment of events. Some of them may be visible, catch our attention, some are completely hidden from our perception and understanding. Yet the general law is that all these events are somehow related causatively, meaning that events co-arise and are codependent on one another. Synchronicity in depth is causal. This is a subtle yet profound law permeating the whole of the universe. Synchronicities are acausal to the observer, as Jung defined them, yet they are strictly tied with causality at an aperceptive level, the level we cannot perceive. Thus they are not acausal but aperceptive. The method proposed here is tied with adjusting the perceptive and aperceptive networks of psychic events and constellations and modifying them consciously as to relate and reconcile the processes that surround us. Whether we apply it in magic or everyday life and psychological and intellectual gymnosophic yoga, it may be of use. It is based on grammar of thought, which is utilizing modules of ideas and patterns of the mind to capture some hidden laws via tools of philosophical mathematics. You can call this method ideatics if you like. Mathematics is a formal discipline and deals with consistent internal objectivity of its language. In contradistinction, ideatics is a non-quantifiable conceptual formalization of thought that, like in chaos theory, creates attractors or magnets that draw certain thought patterns from the environment nearer to the attractor structures. Now here, I conjured certain equations. This is one of them, in which Re is receptivity that equals inertia multiplied by exposure divided by conditioned state in proportion to momentary state. This is an example of ideatics, how to put mentalese into formulas. For example, our receptivity to an advertisement is related to inertia of focus, and if we are continuously exposed to the advertisement, the absorption is governed by our solid conditioned state, or the most continuous, permanent, immalleable part of our mind in proportion to the momentary solid state. The state of our mental continuum in its totality is at every flash of mental event distributed in time, every second, every microsecond. Example 2. Receptivity to a servitor that conveys some information or energy, or a shade of the dead, is related to inertia of focus, ignorance, unawareness, indetection, mindlessness, and under exposure we are influenced, we absorb to an extent that our solid conditioned state allows. That is our nature, inclination, character, passivity depending on the strength of the occurrence, so strength of exposure, in proportion to our momentary state. So we are receptive, we block, or we are active. So under influence in a given psychological moment. So I conjured several such examples. They may be found online, and I will explicate and expound them later. However, this is an example how to think about mentalists as mathematical formulas. And the more adept we are at using those formulas in the arsenal of our magical tools, the greater the effectivity of our framing of given moments of magic in our action. For example, if you work with high magic and you want to convey certain information and you want to frame the information in very specific formalized terms, that is a beautiful art. Thank you.